We're inside the Barnstable County Correctional Facility in Bourne, Massachusetts. It is home to 400 or so inmates on any given day. Some of them are broken into dozens, even scores of homes across Cape Cod, and more than a few cars along the way. This is how they do it.
I'm 25. My name's Tom. I got my GED. I'm from Cape Cod, born and raised. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. First started getting in trouble when I was like 15 for like larceny, B E. I've probably broken into more than 100 houses. Weak spots in the house would be windows unlocked, doors unlocked, bulkheads unlocked, garage doors unlocked. Head to like the master bedroom, like look for money under the mattress, in drawers. Usually when I get bigger things, I usually am asked, or I'll just bring it to like a drug dealer or someone that's looking for that sort of item. I usually go up and knock on the front door, see if anyone's home. If no one's home, I'll just throw something through a window or kick open a door or use a crowbar. I usually ask them if you've seen a dog around. I lost my dog. I was at my grandparents' house and my dog got away. I'd rather go in the daytime. You don't have to turn lights on. So if the house was dark and just the lights randomly came on and there's no cars in the yard, that looks kind of suspicious. If I go in during the day, there's light shining through the windows. If I was going to make my house safe and not get B&Es on it, security system, cameras, everything would be locked. Just keep the windows and doors locked. Your garage locked at all times. Bulkheads locked. If I'm going up to a house, I'll just go right to the door and knock on it. I don't really hide. That looks like if there's neighbors around or if someone went by, everyone has a cell phone. Like, what's this kid doing? There's not really been a house that I haven't gotten into, one way or the other. A red flag would be for if I'm walking up to a house, I immediately look in the windows and corners of the ceiling, looking for motion detectors, any red lights, because alarms have red lights usually on the front door or something, ADT sign, anything to that effect. I've never been in a house when anyone's ever come home. I usually either watch them leave or it'd be a summer house of some sort. If I go into a house with someone else, we go over it, what we're going to do before we go in. Like, each of us will have an ear open, or one of us will be at a window, say, you go do something, and then whatever, if you find something, you go find something. Summer houses on Cape are like the easiest houses to get into. If you own a summer house on Cape, I'd say probably like dual window locks, deadbolts, maybe a couple deadbolts. Just make sure everything's locked up tight. I just go for it. If I come out and someone's there, I'll bring a mask with me when I go in the house. I'll come out of the house with a mask on just in case. If not, I'll just rip it off real quick and go with whatever I got. TVs, laptops, really nice stereos, money, sometimes jewelry, not all the time. Because you'd have to go to like a pawn shop, and I'm not going to use my ID to go. Because you can get caught up in the system. Detectives there's a different detective in a pawn shop like every week.
I am 26 years old. I grew up in Maine. Came to the Cape when I was about 14 years old. I started off going into motor vehicles before I ever went into houses, and they are very easy to get into. I mean, you just go around with a flashlight, point the flashlight through the window, and if you see the doors are unlocked, you can just open the door and you have free roam of what's inside. So I mean, yeah, cars were easy. That's like I said, that's probably where I started off until I moved on to trying to get bigger things. I was probably 23 when I broke into the first home. I was about 14 when I broke into when I first moved to Cape Cod. I was about 14 when I broke into my first business. Well, for me, things that would deter me from going into a home would be dogs. Dogs were a big thing for me. I mean, if there's a dog barking inside of a house, I normally probably won't go near it. I mean, both. It's definitely the dog barking would draw attention to the house, the loud barking and everything. So that would definitely be a deterrent for me. Also, motion lights. Having a lot of motion lights around a house, where like you walk into the yard and they pop on. I mean, some houses will have those on like every corner, and if they've got motion lights all around the house or something, then that's going to light you up. So that's definitely a deterrent for me as well. I would break into homes to support my drug addiction. I was first addicted to heroin, and I got clean from heroin, and I ended up starting with the cocaine, and it was the cocaine that led me to doing break and enterings. When I'm addicted to drugs and I get desperate enough, I'll basically go to any lengths to get the drugs. Weak spots for me would be a house that's sort of by itself or with neighboring houses where I can also tell that there's probably no occupancy. Also, like if there's like a lot of coverage around the house, like a lot of big hedges or something around the fence lines and stuff that are gonna block me, and I can kind of duck into the backyard and have free access back there and not have to worry about being spotted by somebody. That's usually a pretty weak point. When I'm inside of a home, I would usually go to the bedrooms first.
And why is that?
Usually that's where people keep their best belongings, keep their jewelry, and where they have their nightstands, where there might be prescriptions and stuff like that. Bathrooms as well. Check the bathroom cabinets for prescriptions. Things that like we talked about before, things that would make me not go into a home would be, like I said, I mean, a dog, loud barking dog. If I saw, even if I saw a camera on the outside and it was a fake camera, I mean, I don't know that. If they just put up a camera like on the corner of the house or something, like, I mean, that's definitely a deterrent. Even if it's not wired in, I mean, I'm not going to go to the lengths to try to see if it's wired in or not. You know, I mean, if I just see that camera, it's probably going to deter me from going in. Also, I mean, lights. I mean, there's a lot of lights on inside of the house. I mean, if they have the motion lights around the house, I mean, if there's a lot of close by neighbors that are home or something like that are going to possibly see me or hear me, then those are all things that I probably wouldn't mess with the house. I'd more or less want a house where people have been at more. I mean, if it's a summer home or something like that and there's not people around, then most chances are that there's not a lot of stuff that's in the house. I mean, normally I would go up to the door and knock anyways to see, I mean, if there was anybody home or not. I mean, that's the last thing I'd want to do is get into a house where there's somebody home. So usually I'd try to be positive there was nobody in the house before I'd try to break in. I have found firearms on about 2 different occasions, but I don't take firearms. I definitely felt bad at times about things I was doing. I mean, I grew up with morals, and my parents definitely raised me well, I would think, and I feel like drugs and things like that definitely change your perspective of things and make you not care as much. But there was definitely times where I would, after everything was said and done, that I would be thinking about things that I did and the damage that I've done to people and stuff like that. And yeah, those times I felt bad. Easier to go into is a summer home, but you're going to get more out of somewhere where there's year-round residents. Usually I'm just going to break a window, undo the locks and go inside like that. So I mean, there's really no way to stop that unless if you have an alarm system, if you have a loud barking dog, something like that. I mean, it's the only things that are really going to stop me. Bright outside lights, things like that. That's the only things that are going to really stop me from I mean, unless you're going to have bulletproof glass. I don't think anybody's ever really expecting to have their house broken into. Or, I mean, it's definitely always going to be a shock when somebody comes home and sees their house has been broken into. If I'm determined to get into a home, I'm most definitely going to get into it. I got caught from neighbors seeing me enter the residence. And yeah, the cops showed up while I was in the house. I ran. I jumped out a window, took off on foot. I was caught.